Furthermore, the demand for American cotton and European textile mills underscored the crop's global significance, knitting together economies across continents and fueling the Industrial Revolution in Europe. How did enslaved labor shape economic foundations and plantation operations? Plantation operations in the Mississippi Delta grew to vast proportions, symbolizing the region's deep dependence on cotton cultivation and enslaved labor. These counties, with their fertile soil and advantageous climates, were prime locations for cotton cultivation, leading to the establishment of vast plantations that sprawled across thousands of acres. The scale of these operations necessitated a large workforce, primarily consisting of enslaved African Americans whose labor was exploited to maximize cotton production. The plantations in the Mississippi Delta were not just agricultural enterprises, but complex economies in themselves, requiring meticulous organization and management. Enslaved people were forced to clear dense forests and swampy lands to make way for cotton fields, build the physical infrastructure of the plantations, including the main houses, outbuildings, and quarters where they lived, and cultivate and harvest the cotton. The fact that some plantations enslaved hundreds, each of whom contributed to the plantation's economic success, serves as a measure of the size of these operations. How were living conditions, housing, and community life for the enslaved in the Mississippi Delta? The living conditions of the enslaved in the Mississippi Delta were generally poor and designed to enforce their status as property rather than human beings. Housing for enslaved typically consisted of small, rudimentary cabins made of logs or rough-hewn lumber with dirt floors, little insulation, and inadequate ventilation. These quarters were often cramped, housing multiple individuals or families in a single room, and lacked basic amenities, contributing to difficult living conditions and health problems.
What was the Mississippi Delta's role in building America's wealth? In the 19th century, the Mississippi Delta was the economic heart of America's cotton empire. Its fertile soil and vast plantations created immense wealth for enslavers, northern textile industries, and European markets. Enslaved African Americans were the backbone of this system, forced to clear land, build infrastructure, and work relentlessly in the fields. Where did the wealth from cotton go? The wealth generated from cotton in the Mississippi Delta was funneled into multiple directions, enriching enslavers, northern businesses, and European markets, while leaving the region itself impoverished. Here's how this wealth was distributed. To the enslavers. Enslavers in the Delta accumulated immense personal wealth. They owned vast plantations and enslaved hundreds of people, profiting directly from their forced labor. The profits enabled them to build luxurious estates, establish generational wealth, and dominate local and regional politics. However, much of this wealth was spent on maintaining their lavish lifestyles or reinvested into the plantation economy, further entrenching the exploitation of enslaved labor. To northern businesses. Cotton was the lifeblood of the American textile industry, which was concentrated in the North. Mills in states like Massachusetts and Rhode Island processed Delta cotton into finished goods, creating booming industrial economies. Northern shipping companies, banks, and insurance firms also profited by financing plantations, insuring enslaved people as property, and transporting cotton to domestic and international markets.
That's a wrap, History Seekers. Catch the full story on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.